I was sitting here thinking about something, just something to think of. When I look at a lot of the things that we do as humans and what our brain does, and things like YouTube and the internet and going out with others and socializing and spirituality and art and all these things, just everything. It's basically all just wordplay. The whole thing is simply wordplay. We know that life is a process where things are changing, things are happening, nothing's ever the same. There is no getting ahead and there is no falling behind. See, none of these things exist. None of these things exist. It's just a construct. It's just wordplay. It's just things that we have been taught to think that, oh, just because I learned them or just because I think. I was just up in my room watching a video of some guy's channel. It's something like Stykes Hammer 666 or something. Uh, I watch people like this, and the thing that I don't understand is I'm just saying this into the open for people to think about it. There's people that say, I don't believe in God and I don't believe in the Abrahamic religion or the Judaism religion or anything. But then they call themselves Satanists. Or they don't believe in Satan or hell, but they believe in God. Or they believe in aliens and don't believe in God or Satan. Or they believe in God and aliens, but not Satan. It's like, do you see what's going on here? We are picking and choosing what we want to believe. You see, we want to believe something, and then we say that that's the right thing because we say it's the right thing. You see what I'm saying? And I know for myself, when I mention Jesus Christ, what I'm mentioning is I'm talking about the compassion for other people, like compassion for things. Because, when I examine this more and I look at this more and I'm getting really, really honest with myself, people are the problem and people are problems and they carry a lot of extra baggage around with them. But I still, as a person, I would want someone to be compassionate with me and honest with me. And I don't care if someone calls me names or does whatever they have to do, as long as they're being honest and they're telling me it how it really is or how they really think, then I'll respect that. You see, I can look at that as a person and go, okay, well, at least this person is really telling me what they think of me or what's really on their mind instead of acting like it's something it's not, or being this like really nice person when when it comes a time where someone needs to call someone out, or there's a time for someone to correct somebody or call them out or say, look, you're being an ass right now, just something like that. I would rather someone say that than to act nice or to play this game where we're supposed to just get along with everything. And it's just, everything's just, that's not life. That's not how life is. That's not life. And but getting back to what I was saying here with the whole belief thing, if someone would ask me, what Do you think that there's a God? Do you know what my answer is going to be? I don't know. Is Jesus Christ Lord? I don't know. Is is there God the Father, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit? I don't know. Is there Allah? I don't know. Is there a Satan? I don't know. Is there demons? I don't know. But see, switching it up from that, when we're talking about something like demons, what we're talking about is people. People are the construct of our own minds are the demons. Do you see? Now, whether there are literal demons, I don't know. IDK. Sometimes the best answer is I don't know. Sometimes that's the best answer that we can give is I don't know. But how I see it is demons and angels are simply projections or reflections on ourselves. You see, when we say, oh, that person has a demon, it's because there's something in their brain going on. There's something with their energy, a part of their body that's going on that's making them that way. See, it's like shadow projecting. You see, this is what so many people do in this world. They shadow project. They're like, oh, the Illuminati is out to do this and that. And don't get me wrong. Are there people that are doing weird things? Are there people that are sacrificing animals and people that are into witchcraft and stuff like this? Yes, that goes on in our world. But when we're talking about things like shadow projecting, all that we're doing is we are projecting something that we think of ourselves. You see, when we're talking about demons or our demons, what we're talking about is we are in fear of something, so we say that that's a demon that is doing something. No, it's coming from the fear of our brain. That is the demon. You see, when we say we're exercising our demons, and I actually, I don't want to say believe. I don't want to say the word believe, but I know there was a time that I had to exercise my own demons that I created for myself, that I conjured up for myself. I had to deal with those, and I still deal with them, my metaphorical demons. Now, are there literal demons? I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe there is a realm that we can't see. Maybe there is, but this is not a video to say that I know or I don't know, or I know there's a God or there isn't a God. See, I still remain agnostic. I still remain neutral. I still do not pick and choose any side. I am on the side of no side. I do not represent anything at all. I just am what I am when I am, because that's what I am in that moment. And I'm always going to be what I'm going to be. You see? And I know when I say something that I'm about to say, I know that this is going to sound like something to the world's perception of how a lot of minds might see it. But I'm to this point where I'm saying to myself, I am not interested in what anybody else is doing. I am not interested in what anybody else is doing at all. I'm only interested in what I'm doing as a person. That's it. Because I cannot live the life of another person. I can't make somebody act the way that I want them to act or anything. And I don't want to do that anyway. I don't want to be someone that has someone on puppet strings or is controlling them. But I do like knowing that I'm in control of my own actions and I'm taking responsibility and accountability for my own life. And then sometimes I have to kind of give up and surrender because my mind is so filled with bullcrap that I got to just say, you know what? I give up. I surrender. I'm not fighting this stuff. I let it go. What's the point of me trying or fighting? And my message, I'm not about fighting either. I don't mind if guys get in the ring and beat each other up. Like I said, I don't mind boxing, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Sonny Liston, George Foreman, Mike Tyson. I'm really into that stuff. I love when two men go at it like that in a ring. I don't want them to get killed or hurt, though. You see, it's not for brutal intentions. And I said this in something I wrote. I said, if you fight your brother, beat him up in fair sport, but don't kill him. Do not deliberately hurt him. Because otherwise, you do have a metaphorical demon or a demon in you because you want to kill a man in the name of some bloodlust, and where that comes from, I don't know. I guess some people's brains work different than other people's. That's not for me to judge, but I just know that the way that people think, I think a lot of the times what's going on is that person is not willing to reflect back onto themselves to see the person that they are. See, a lot of the world is so used to projecting and saying, oh, tell me that I'm special. You tell me that I'm something. I'm here. Aren't you glad that I'm here? There's no problem with that. There's no problem with that. But some people take it to such extremes that when they come around, they need to be validated all the time. And I know there are people like this, and I'm not saying this because I hate these people or I'm sitting here getting on them or something. I'm simply just saying how our world is and how people are and why we do the things that we do. And I'm not going to do it in this video. I want to make a video talking about why I think for myself that medicinal, natural drugs are the way. I am all for drugs. I'm all for drugs. I'm just not for the drugs that get us strung out and make us steal and make us hurt other people and rob and pillage and rape and kill other people for the drug. You see, I'm not for things, hard drugs that make people do these things, but I am for medicinal drugs that can help someone that is bipolar or someone that has mental illness or someone like myself. Because if I could be in a laboratory right now working on a cure or something to help with symptoms for people, I would be there right now. I'd turn my car on and I'd drive there right now if I knew people that were into that. But I don't know people that are into that, and I don't have a lab, and it's not something that I am. It is something I'm interested in. It is one thing out of many, many, many things that I am interested in. But I just don't have the resources and stuff to do it right now. You see, it's all about resources and people that you might know and getting lucky. And if something like that would happen, great, but it's not something that's not on the top of my list that I'm focusing on in my life right now. It's something that in time, yes, I do. I was just watching something on ketamine, where they inject the patients with this and it helps with their bipolar. And I'm all for that. If it helps and there's not big side effects and it can help a man or a woman and it can give you a better life and it can make you feel better and you have you're uppity and you want to do the right thing, something for the welfare and the well-being of yourself and maybe other people. I am all for that. Thumbs up. I am all for that. But I just look at this and I just see that, why do we think that we have to live the way that we're living? We do not have to live the way we're living. Like, we can do other things. This is our life. This is my life, Yeah, I have my problems and I got my issues and I have things that go on. And I'm like, why does it have to be this way? It doesn't have to be this way. I just don't know of alternatives or solutions, or is there some kind of alternative that I can find to combat this thing, or so that I'm not feeling this way, or this doesn't keep happening? You see, why do we not look into more things like that? It's like everybody's so focused on this matrix and so focused on what everybody else is saying and how everybody else thinks, or focused on what the politicians are saying, or what's going on at your job, or the work gossip, or I don't know who won the game this afternoon. And it's like things like that. Those are just everyday average things. And I'm not saying that I have anything against people like that. It's just not for me. You see, I'm not in that world anymore. I am gone from that thought. I am gone from that way of living. And this is why someone like me, the reason that I don't come around to family gatherings and I don't hang out with my family and people that are in my family, cousins and stuff, is because our lifestyles do not, we have nothing in common. I care for them. I love them. I wish them the best. I want the best for them and everything, like I want the best for myself and other people. But I'm starting to realize that even though I say have compassion for people and I mention Jesus Christ and I'll mention other things, I'll mention the Buddha maybe, I'll mention I don't know, I might mention a dictator and something that he said that was something good, but yet they intermingled that with something horrible and evil and sadistic. But that doesn't mean that I'm sticking up for that thing. I'm just saying even dictators had good attributes. Even they had families and mothers and fathers and daughters and sons. These people are our children. When I look at every person, we might have our differences. I might say, look, we have nothing in common, so there's really no point of us really intermingling with each other. It doesn't mean that I'm looking at them like, oh, that's my enemy, or, oh, I hate that person, or oh, well, they're different from me, so I gotta look at him like he's a stranger and all this bullcrap. When I look at people, I say, that is my brother there. That is my father. That is my mother. That's my sister. I mean, we're all flesh, blood, and bone here. So, see, a lot of the world doesn't look at things like that because, yet again, and I hate to keep saying this word, but it's the only way that I can interpret it to people. We are so brainwashed and conditioned and programmed to think that we have to think a certain way, that we got to be a certain way, we got to live up to a certain standard, and yada, 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 yada. And it just goes on and on. And then we look for this validation and we look for people to say, oh, well, ain't I doing better? Ain't I doing better than this person? Look at my new Mercedes. Ain't I doing better? Look at the new pair of Jordans I got. Ain't I fly? Look, if somebody wants to buy a pair of Jordans, have at it. It's your money. You can spend whatever you want to spend your money on. Whoever out there, I don't care. It's none of my business. I can only worry about myself and live my own life. And this is another thing that I'm going for on this channel. I'm not telling myself to be a selfish prick. That's not what I'm saying. But we need to look after number one. We need to have compassion for ourselves and to look at our own lives and look in the mirror and look at our own metaphorical demons and reflect on ourselves and call ourselves out and expose things in our lives. You see, I think that we need to do that first before we can even start to understand what it is that we're projecting or that we're doing every day or how we see this world and how we see life. I know this is going to sound very strange, but I'm just being honest here. If every person that I seen right now was a replica of me, I wouldn't have any problem with that. Now, look, I know this is going to sound weird, but just hear me out. If there was many replicas of me, one was an engineer, another was a printer, another one was a designer, another one was a boat specialist, another one built houses, another one painted, another one knew about cars, another one knew about medicinal herbs and plants and spices, another one knew how to grow crops, another one knew how to build a water filtration system, another one was a doctor, a solid doctor that cared, that practiced the practice because they care about people in the practice. If I seen replicas of me, I would be absolutely fine with it. And if there was some women and other men that had replicas of themselves, I wouldn't mind it if they stayed to themselves and they didn't bother me or want to do anything to me. If we all had something to do, and now I know this sounds strange. I know it sounds strange, but I'm just being honest. This is how I am, and this is why I keep saying things like, I really do think that I have some form of maybe autism or some kind of weird, obsessive, compulsive, maybe grandeurized thoughts of some kind of paradise or utopian refuge for myself with women that I'm into. And it's like, now besides the replicas of myself, because I know that's not going to happen. But what I'm saying is, if I could look at each person like I look at myself and I could go, okay, they have their differences. They're different people. They think different, but are they still trapped in the Matrix mentality? Are they still trapped in the I need validation mentality? Are they still trapped in this, I am jealous and envious of my brother and sister? Are they still trapped in this, I gotta get ahead of people mentality? You see, I want nothing to do with those things at all, because I know those things are not something that is important or valuable to me as a person. And for those people, okay, hey, look, if that's the way you are, then go off into a land of your own and go do your own thing with other people that want to do those kinds of things. And the people that want to do things like me, let's be in a land of our own and start doing the things that we want to do. I'm just using these as examples. But and I won't lie. I would love to be in a land of my own where there is a couple other, I'm just using this as a thought. If this would somehow ever happen, I'm not counting on it. I'm not saying it's ever going to happen. This is just my vision. Okay, there's a few other guys that are around to help when help is needed. But yet they have their own thing going and they're doing their own thing. You see, they're not always worrying about me. They're worrying about themselves, and they have their own women that they mess with and they're content with. I have my own women that I'm content with because there's more women in the world. So why not have 3 women for every man? Why not have 4, 3, 4, 5 women for every man? Why not? Don't they need to be fulfilled too? Don't they need sexual pleasure? Don't they need somebody to vent and feel like, okay, someone is around me, someone is here to, be there or just be around or help when help is needed? I mean, the way that we have set this up is just so stupid to me. It makes no sense. It's almost like insanity to me what we have done and how we have set this thing up. I'm not saying everything. I'm saying a lot of things. Not everything, a lot of things. And I'm not going to get into details and all that, because if I start calling it out, then, someone that is associated to those things, then they'll think that I'm offending them or I'm getting on them or I'm downing them and all this stuff. And this is why I don't like getting into it too deep, because I keep that to myself, because there's no reason to take it that far in these videos. There's no reason to get deep into the explaining it, because people are going to be people and they're going to do what they do. I'm not trying to make someone do what it is I do. I'm just saying it's got to be for individuals that are really the way they are. And only they know what they are. Only they know the deepest parts of them that they might not be talking about or expressing to other people. They have to make a decision to do that for themselves. You see, I've already made the decision to do that. I've already made up my mind that I'm going to be honest, but sometimes I got to hold back on certain things, because if you're too honest and open, you got to watch sometimes. I know that I got to watch sometimes, but I shouldn't have to. I should be able to say what I need to say when I need to say it. I shouldn't have to worry about that, you see? But I know that there is minds out there that are still confused with this whole thing, this whole matrix, and is still living by being jealous of someone else because they got a new car or they got more money or they got a good looking woman. Let that man or person have what they have. There is other women. There is other fish in the sea. It's not a big deal if that one, and see, this is, like I said, when I start talking about these things, it's very hard for me to get into it, because if I start doing that, it's going to sound very foreign and strange, but I just see everything differently. I see everything differently. And this thing that we've created for ourselves, this whole construct, way of living, the way we go about seeking approval from one another and trying to be something for someone else. It's all so wrong. It's all so wrong to me. It makes no sense. It's nonsensical to me. It's a waste of energy. It's fake. It's not real. It's not real. Most of the things that I see in my life, I know is not real. I know it's just people putting on, people acting like something for someone else, people trying to be something that they know they're not. This is how just messed up this thing is. And I'm sorry to say it, but there are so few, there's just so few platforms when I'm on YouTube or anywhere that I'm looking or searching into. I hardly ever hear people speaking about something that they know that they want in their lives, what they want to make happen, what they want to do. Like, it's something that some guy's channel where he's in the wilderness, he said, do we even know what we want to do? If you ask some people, what do you want to do in your life? What do you want to do? Some people don't even know what they want to do. And I'm not on here to berate anyone or to down anyone. That is not my intentions for why I'm saying this. It's just, how can we as people not know what we need or want for ourselves? Think about it. Why do we not know? Because we're so focused on what other people are going to think about us. We're so focused on showing off for others. We're so focused on saying, what are they going to think? We're so focused on worrying about how we think that we need to be for other people to validate what we think that they are thinking of us. And they really don't care. They really, really, really do not care at all. At all, at all. You see, there was something that I was thinking about. There was something that I was thinking about that slipped my mind. It's something to do with, we look towards other people to, how can I say this? We base how we feel or how we live or what we want to do, we're basing that on what we think another person wants us to be or how they want us to be. See, this is what I mean by shadow projecting. This is what I mean by saying there's demons out here to get me and there's these people are doing things. No, that's just us doing that to ourselves. That's our own fear that we're projecting onto the world because we're not dealing with it and we're not being honest with ourselves and we're not exposing it and we're not getting past it. So a lot of us are stuck in that frame of mind. We're stuck in that frame of mind. And that's why I say, getting back to what I was talking about, if someone is honest and someone says, look, I am feeling like complete shit today. I really don't want to do this, but I know I got to do this. See, if somebody would talk like that to me, I would be willing to listen. Or if they would just tell me something that is off the top of their mind, with them not even really thinking too hard, because otherwise they're gonna lie, or they're gonna put on the front or facade, or act like something is the way that they know that it isn't. But they think, oh, I can't say this. I can't let them know that I'm feeling depressed. I can't let the world know that I'm feeling weak right now, and I'm feeling broken, and I'm feeling utterly destroyed. I can't let the world know that. I got to keep it in because I'm a prideful man, and I got to show that I'm tough. I got to show these people that I can be a man, and I got to show these women, oh, look, I got these new clothes. Look at my car. Hey, why are you not paying attention to me? Oh, well, she's a bitch, and then we start blaming women because they're not paying attention to us. And see, until we get rid of that frame of mind, we are going to be sick. We are living in a sick system, a sick society, a sick mindset. It's sickness. It's sickness to me. And I see it everywhere. I see it all the time. I can smell the stench of this thing resonating off of people, places, and things everywhere I go. And it doesn't feel right because it's not right. And then how am I supposed to see? The reason why I keep this channel, I'm kind of in the shadows, but I'm not in the shadows. I don't tell, people where I go to work, or my family, or people I know. I don't tell them that I have a channel because we're not going to relate. We're not going to have this in common. They're not going to, more than likely, they'll understand some things. Yes, they will. And this is not me taking a stab at anybody. It's just me being brutally honest about how I am. And if they don't understand, then that means we're not going to have common ground to speak rationally and to have a real, authentic, genuine talk. You see? And that bothers me. You see, that it almost infuriates me that I can't be truthfully honest with some people because I already know what's going to come about it. This is why I say I am not interested unless someone is willing to, how can I say this? Now, I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not getting into other people in this video. This is why I say that I am not interested in anything that other people are doing, because I already know what other people are doing. I already know that most people are going to keep everything to themselves. They're not going to open up. They're not going to get real. They don't, more than likely, they don't have anything going because they don't know what they want to do, because they're still chasing after this projection of what people think of them, and they're still chasing, I gotta wear this thing, I have to buy this thing, I gotta look this way for them. See, I am dead to that mindset. I am absolutely gone from that mindset. And it doesn't resonate with me anymore. It's not on my frequency. It's not on my energy. And how in the world do you tell other people this without feeling some kind of awkward, weird, just absolutely alien, foreign, just something completely out of a fantasy book almost? That's how I'm going to be looked at but I know that it's not a fantasy. I know that it's something real for myself. I just don't have the resources or something behind me in the video to say, hey, look, it's happening, but it's happening in here, and I know what I want to do. This is why I'm not focusing on what other people are doing, because nobody is doing what I am doing. And this is what I want for, if I could have it this way, this is what I would really like to see in other people, is for them to know what they want and to know what they're going for and to get over their own envies and jealousies and these petty things and this matrix in front of them that they're still stuck in and they're living by. My goodness gracious, if it could just be 100 people, 100 people. Imagine what 100 deconditioned, unprogrammed beings that are thinking for themselves, that are compassionate and passionate about something. And there's so much more that goes into this. I can't get into everything. It's impossible for me to say everything in a video. I can never say it in a video. Like, it would literally take a whole series for me to explain this piece by piece and how I got to this point, you know? It's, it might seem a certain way, but I know for myself, this to be tried and true. I know that there is no fakery in anything that I'm doing. Absolutely no fakery in anything that I'm doing. This is 100% genuine. This is 100% authentic. There is no slack in my act. Well, there might be a little slack in my act because of, what my brain does and the things I have, problems I have with, mental, depression and stuff like that. But the thing is, what I'm starting to notice is depression. Yes, it's something that my brain does, but depression is coming to realize reality in its totality. And it's very depressing when you come to realize behind the veil of everything, and you see behind the mask and facade, and you're really being honest with yourself, and you are someone that you do have agape. You are an agape person because your love is not of this earth. You see, my love is not a worldly desire love. It's an agape love. It is not of this worldly frame of mind that you see in movies and all that stuff. Now, if that's how people are and they do some of those things, I don't care. That's them. Best to them. If they like being romantic, then be romantic. If you like buying a rose for a woman and she's smelling it, or you're going, oh, baby, and she's smelling it and looking at you, oh, and you're getting into it, okay, that's fine. If it gets you hard and you want to have consensual sex and you have the best sex ever and you're pulling her hair and smacking her ass and she's horny and you're turned on and you have the best sex in your life and you smoke a cigarette afterwards, okay, you did that. Good for you. I'm all for it. Great. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord in the universe. I'm all for you if that's what you want to do. But most people, they're lacking this confidence because they have not let down this programming shit, this conditioning shit, these lies that we've been told of how we have to be for the world. And most people probably wouldn't even spread this video. And it's a shame. It's a complete shame that someone would not share this to another person. If I seen this video and I seen a replication of myself in another person, I am going to share this video quicker than the quickest of quick. I mean, quicker than lightning strikes. I would share this video because I know when I know something's real. I know when I know something's unique. I know when I know something is genuine. I know when someone knows what they want and what they're after, and they're not putting this thing on anymore for people. See, until those people out there let that down and recognize that for themselves, I can't have anything in common with them. It cannot work. There's no way that there can be chemistry if the chemistry is wrong. You understand what I'm saying? And look, I don't necessarily like getting hype like this in these videos and getting loud like this. I know it might seem like a turnoff to some people because I don't like hearing people yelling stuff either like that. So let me bring it down a little bit here. I get hype like this because this is something that I'm serious about. This is my life. This is something that I mean when I say it at this time. I'm not saying that things can't change and I can't change my mind, or because things are always happening in life. It's a continual process of things happening, and it's never going to go the way that I think it's going to go. It never does. It never does. But I know if I can get to a point in my life where I can have my own land, my own property, my own house, my own garden, my own thing, that is all that I will ever ask for. I don't want anything else. It would be nice to have a woman or maybe a couple women. I don't know. I'm down. I'm down for anything. I'm down for really anything, as long as those people, see, they have to know themselves. They have to break their own thing down into sections and study them and say, why am I this way? Why do I do this? Why do I feel this way? Why am I feeling like this towards this person? See, if we're not reflecting, if people out there are not reflecting, then there's never going to be that chemistry there, and things like this will never happen because nobody is putting it into play. Nobody is thinking about it. Nobody is spreading it because people think it's a fantasy or it's something that's too hard to do and all this. And this is what's stopping us, is the thought, because we're thinking we can't do something, or I'm thinking I can't do it. That's too hard. That's too much for me. And that thought, I've already squashed myself. I've already told myself that I'm never going to do it. I've already told myself, oh, that can never happen for me if I talk like that. And don't get me wrong, I have destructive behaviors myself, but I understand my destructive behaviors. You see, I know when they're happening because I have had this repetitive cycle. I know myself through and through. I understand why I'm feeling this way or how this came, and it's a knowing. When life takes on a repeat and you know what is coming, or kind of the patterns of your life. And I'm not talking about conditioned patterns or program patterns. I'm talking about the patterns of my own brain, of my own fiber, of my own being. And only I can know that. Nobody else can know that for me but me. And if the people out there are not telling themselves that, then I am never going to have anything in common. There's never going to be chemistry. Nothing's ever going to come of anything. There's going to be this disconnect. It's just going to be, I'm just going to keep seeing this matrix and seeing people play the game, and people get involved with it and think that they need to fit in somewhere. It's all wrong. It is all wrong. It's all wrong. And I don't care what anyone else says out here, because I know what I'm saying for myself is the right thing for myself. You see? I know what I'm saying for myself is the right thing. I have no doubt in my mind that what I'm saying right now, like I said, is 100% unique, authentic, and genuine. Now, do I seem like I'm like this is kind of cliche, or I might be pushing it a bit? No, this is because, yet again, if any person thinks something in their mind, we have to remember that is just a programmed thought coming to our mind. That is just something that we were taught or conditioned with, or someone told us before, or we believed, or we think we wanted to believe it, or we thought we knew because we believed. See, it's all these kinds of things going on, these shadow projections. These people are doing this, the Illuminati, demons, angels, just the whole thing is a construct in our minds. It is a construct. Until we can see that, we will remain to be sick. And I will remain to be sick. Now, I'm not speaking for other people. I'm only speaking for myself. And the thing is, see, how can I say this? I didn't quite explain that right, how I wanted to say that. I take that back. I don't want to say that those things are going to keep people sick if we would realize what they are. You see, religion and the Bible is something that you read for yourself, and any other book, any other thing that you read or you go over, you read it, you look at it, you get out of it what you need to get out of it. See, you don't get stuck on religion. I'm not stuck on religion. I'm not a religious guy. I don't ever do anything religiously. When I have to do it, I do it. When I have to remember something, I remember something. If there's a scripture I read that makes me think of something and say, oh, well, that's what's going on here. I forgot that if you judge, you will be judged, Nate. Remember, Matthew chapter 7? Do you remember how you going to take the speck out of your brother's eye if you didn't take the speck out of your own eye? You hypocrite. You hypocrite, Nate. You hypocrite. You see, if we would look at it like that, it has nothing to do with religion, or I'm a Satanist or a Christian. I'm a Buddhist or I'm a Muslim. It has nothing to do with that. That is what people are getting stuck on. They're getting stuck on the symbols and the ideologies of things. I don't know how else to explain this. And anybody that has, symbols or whatever, that's not what I'm referring to it. You don't get stuck on those things. You use those things to remember something, to say, oh, okay, at that time, I learned this for myself, so I remember this thing, and leave it at that. You see, it's something where if you're getting caught up on it, you are living by a works mentality. You're living by the law. And it talks about this in the Bible. I'm not living by the law anymore. I'm not living by good works. I don't need to do good works. It's in my metaphorical heart and mind that I want to treat other people how I want to be treated. These are so simple things. They're so simple, yet And when I say I'm not living by the law, I do not need rules anymore because I know when I'm breaking the rules. I know when I'm taking things too far. I know not to do something too much or not do it at all. And this is why I continually talk about neutrality, and I continually talk about contradiction and ironies and conundrums and left and right, evil, righteous, up, down, sky, ground, women, man, everything you can think of, black, white, it doesn't matter. It's all the same thing in and of itself. We think it's different, but it's not different. We're labeling it to be different. That's the only thing. We're comparing things all the time. And in this comparing, this is where all of these conditionings and programmings and all these things that we think we need to be better than or we're worse than. Do you see where all of this stuff is coming from? It's coming from the fabric of that. But most of the world does not see this because they're not open to it. They're not willing to let go of things. You see, for myself, yes, I have read most of the Bible many times. And I was even in a place for a year and 4 months where I was in the Bible every day, a place called Teen Challenge. In 2000, I mean, if you want to look it up, go ahead. I'm not lying to people. I was in there from 2009, June to August 2010, where I graduated the program. And see, religion is something, and I don't even want to call it religion. It is a book with words in it. It is a book of words. It is something we read. You get from it what you need to get from it, and you take that with you and you move on. You know, if you read it 10 times, okay, you read it 10 times. If you want to read it 11 times, go ahead. And I'm just using the Bible. I could use any book. If you're a Satanist and you're reading the book of Anton LaVey, or you're whatever you are, what are the words saying to us? See, I don't care about the symbols. I don't care about calling about if we're saying I'm a Satanist or I'm a Christian. It means nothing at all if you're someone that is rational and logical and you really understand the fabric of what's going on here. It means nothing to call yourself that. It's almost like it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant that we call ourselves these things. What is that proving by calling myself something when I'm a little of everything and I know what's right and wrong? You know, I know not to take things too far or whatever, but some people, they have not yet come to these kinds of realizations. They have not yet looked in the mirror at the things that they are doing. They're too focused on everybody else. They're too focused on what the world's doing. They're too focused on, I gotta be a Christian for people, or I gotta be a Satanist for people. See, this is the new thing going around right now, is this satanic thing, this Satanism. You know, people throwing up the devil horns and wearing the Baphomets and the symbols. Listen, if that's what people do, that's what people do. That's none of my business. But I just really want us to take a look at this. I really want us to see what we're doing. But if that's what people do, that's what people do. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to play God. I am not here to save the world. I am not here to tell anybody to do anything. I'm just speaking for myself. You are not going to ever see me wearing a Baphomet. You are not ever going to see me rocking Christianity or symbols of that or saying I'm a Christian. You're never going to hear me say that, ever. It's never going to happen because I know what I know. I know what I need to know. You see, I have things written on the tablet of this. of this whole thing, of my inner being. I don't need to do all those extra things. I don't need to do that personally. But see, a lot of us don't realize we could use this for the good. We could use the things that we're doing that we might not understand right now. We could use that for the better of this, to do what it is that I'm saying here. We could use how we used to do this, but I don't do that anymore because I realized that that was a construct. That was something to compare myself to other people. But see, I know a lot of people, they're not going to change or do something different because I say so. Who am I? I'm just a guy on YouTube speaking about stuff. He's just the guy. He says what he says, he's whatever. People could say whatever they want to say because they're always going to have an opinion. They're always going to think that they know everything most of the time. And I think the best answer sometimes is I don't know. But the things that I do know, you see, the things that I have been through 1,000,001 times, and I have went through myself, and I have seen with my naked eye, and I have heard, and I have witnessed, those things, I don't want to keep those to myself, because if I keep it to myself, I'm the only one knowing about it, and what good is that doing for anything, keeping everything to myself? You see? Now, there are some things that I have to keep to myself. I'm not just going to throw everything out into the open just for the world to hear everything. It doesn't work like that. I would like it to work like that, but it doesn't work like that. But what am I getting at here? I'm not really getting at anything. I'm just simply stating what I know to be tried and true for myself. The reason I say these things is because things have happened over and over and over for me to realize why a lot of us do the things we do, and why we say the things we say, and why we wear the things we wear, and why we talk about what we talk about, and why we're angry or agitated or hateful towards the things that we are. And when I look at it, most of these things are coming from a sense of I'm not like them. I'm not fitting into. I'm not being like. I don't have the latest car. I don't have the money to get the clothes to wear for them. I don't have those Jordans, so I'm envious of his Jordans. It's just, in my world, the whole thing is completely mad. It is madness. It is lunacy. It will do nothing but shed the blood of another person eventually, because that's where the thought is going, you see? That's where the thought is going. But yet again, the thought of those who are ignorant or do not understand or are not looking into these things or have not went through them or have not withdrew from drugs and have felt completely broken and shattered and ripped apart, and the whole fabric of your whole being just got absolutely mutilated. And I don't know any other way but to talk about it how I talk about it. That's the only way that I can get it across, or I can speak about it or let it be known, is doing it the way that I do it. There's no other way. I'm not going to try to get it across to people. I'm not going to try to make it sound some way. I'm not going to try to fit in. I'm not going to try to be a certain way in a video for anybody because I don't care what another person thinks of me. I don't care. I'm not interested in what anybody else is doing because that's not my business. That's their life. I have my life. They have their life. I wish the best for them. I look at them and say, okay, what are you about? What do you want to do? What's your next step here? You see, it can't be this thing of me projecting on what I think that they should do, or looking at a woman and going, oh, I think that you should cater to me. I think that you should do this or I'm going to hate you. Oh, if you don't look at me or you're not into me but into my friend, well, I might get a thought in my head. See, I might get some thought in my head, some wicked thought that, oh, now I'm going to do something to you. Do you see the madness in this? It's lunacy. It's absolute lunacy. See, when you let people be as they are, and you're not expecting them to be any way. You're not preaching to them. You're not telling them that they have to be any way. You're not forcing them. You're not saying, look, cater to me. When you just let someone be and you're open with them and you say, or you just sit there and go, so what's on your mind? What do you need to talk about? Is there anything you need to say? How are you feeling? Something that is talking to the person in a manner where you are letting them be themselves. You are letting them express themselves in the most unique and genuine way. This is what I love seeing in other people, is when they're like that. But in this day and age, it's very hard to find that because we're so focused on all this other bullshit that I talked about, and it's just, I mean, what can you do? And see, this is the part that is so confusing and it's very discouraging because you can't do anything. I can't do anything. But I don't want to do anything. You see, I don't want to do anything. It's like you want people to be them, to be what they are all the time. Never put on, never wear the mask, never say something that you didn't mean. Always say what you mean. Always get out what you need to get out. You see? And I think a lot of the world does not know how to do that because we're afraid, we're in fear that someone's going to judge us or talk about us or stab us in the back or go to their friends and say, oh, he was acting this way. Did you hear what Jessica said the other day? Did you see what Terry did last night? See, it's always this projecting and this looking at someone else when we need to be looking at ourselves. And when we're looking at ourselves, we're constantly reflecting. And when we do talk to others or approach others, it's in a manner where you're open to listen to them. Simply listen to them and say, okay, what do you have to say, if anything? What are you interested in? What are things that you like to do? You see what I'm saying? And for me to For me to explain why I am saying this, it's very hard to explain why I'm saying this because I have no motive. I have no intention. I am not going by some ideology or some set up rule or anything at all. It's all gone. It is all gone from me. I am completely open. I am literally agape. I am the meaning of agape. I mean the word agape. I am agape. I am agape. And when I say that, I am also because I understand great calamity. You see, I am great calamity too, like UG Krishnamurti talks about. I understand what he's talking about too when he talks about the things he talks about. And most people never even probably watched stuff like this. Most people never probably even watched UG Krishnamurti or J Krishnamurti or Osho or read the Bible or heard the gospel or watched whatever. They probably never even really looked into it for themselves to understand some of the reasons and the thoughts that I have and the way that I am, because I learned a little bit of something from everything. And I listened and I paid attention and I put myself in the shoes of people, even when I did not want to put myself in the shoes of people. I literally forced myself to put myself in hellish situations. And I swear to goodness, I'm not bullshitting. I literally fell into very deep, dark places in my life because I forced myself to think that I was one of the people getting gassed in World War II. I forced myself to think that I was someone in a gulag. I forced myself to think that I was someone being put into a cold tub in some Auschwitz camp and freezing to death. I put myself in the shoes of them people starving in other countries, people getting their leg blown off in a war that they should have never been in. And then now they have post-traumatic stress disorder and they have nothing. They have nothing for these people but these medications that do nothing, that nobody cares about them. The powers that be do not care that they sent them off to war and they got their leg blown off. It was all in the interests of ignorance, stupidity, corruption, violence in the name of this pride thing that I talk about. And look what happens. This is what happens. This is what comes from it. And this is what we have been doing in history for thousands and thousands of years. And this is what I'm going to end on. I'm going to end on this note. Back when there was the pyramids being built and there was slaves working on the pyramids, all you have to do is go around and look at the symbols of places. Everywhere you go, look at the symbols. Where I'm at, there are literally 3 places in the vicinity of a very small area that has pyramids on the signs. Because we are still slaves building the pyramids. We are still in a slave mentality after thousands and thousands of years. We have never broke away from it. Never. We're still living in bondage and slavery. We have still not freed ourselves. And I somehow feel like Moses, like I'm supposed to free the people. That's how I really feel. That is a thought in my head of grandeur. I don't care. People can call it a delusion of grandeur. The world can call it whatever it is, because we may not understand why I say this. I want to set the people free. I want to set this world free. I want to set myself free from this all. Don't you? Don't everyone out there want to do this? Don't we want to set our brothers and sisters and ourselves free? Ourselves free. Don't we want to do that? Now, I know people they might not see it like that, but this is what I mean. Nothing is as it seems. There is another world behind this matrix and this world and this veil that we're seeing. There's a whole other world and mentality behind it. It's almost like the things unseen that we can't see, that people don't see, that they'll think you're crazy. They'll think you lost your mind. They'll think you went nuts. And people even tell me stuff like this from time to time. I'm not going to say who it is because I'm not like that. I'm not calling anyone out because I don't hate them. I actually love them. But there's people that say, what do you mean? You're crazy. You can never do that. What are you talking about? And as I'm saying this, I'm thinking to myself, Nate, let it go, brother. You know they don't understand. Forgive them, for they know not what they're thinking. It's okay, brother. Let it go. You know, and maybe one day they will come to their senses. Maybe. And you know, I can't even lie. I am guilty. I'm guilty because I do not spread this. I am still not out in the complete open yet. I am not spreading this to every single person that I see, and I'm guilty of that because I'm still letting that fear, I'm still letting that part of me, and that's kind of like a stronghold in my life, that I am not expressing this and relaying this and being open with more people. This is not enough for me. This is not enough. I'm not saying, if I want to be completely honest, do you know what I myself am going for? But it is not some achievement. It is not some agenda or some goal that I have. It's not any of that. It's what I would like to have is a solid 10,000 people, 10,000 beings that get this for themselves. And even if it's on the internet, even if it's behind the scenes, that we help support one another behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying? Or do it behind closed doors. Do it when no one's watching. You see, it says when you give in secret. Don't do it for men to see. Don't do it for people to see. Because when we do that, when we give in open and go, look at me, haven't I done something good? Give me praise. This is all over the internet. It's on Instagram. It's on YouTube. I see these people. It's sick. They set up animals to be like in a ditch or something, and then they get them out. They said that some of these videos are fake. Do you see how disgusting that is? To act like you're doing a good deed for men to praise you for it. And these people going around filming themselves, giving poor men money and all this. No, do that without filming. Do that without filming. And let that poor man come up to me and go, hey, there was some guy, I don't know where he came from, but he helped me out with $100. See, if I hear something like that, then I will know that that person understands and gets this, because he's not doing it for praise. He's not doing it for a pat on the back. She's not doing it for recognition. She or he is not doing it for those reasons. They're doing it for reasons. They're doing it in the unseen realm of things. See, there is more meaning behind that than anything else. I'm telling you, there's more meaning behind that than showing the world that you're doing a good deed. Do it when no one's around. Do you see a bum in the street that needs something? Go out at 1 a.m. and give him food and water and a little bit of money if he needs it or she needs it. See, when we're filming things, yes, it's a good deed. Don't get me wrong. Yes, you're doing something good for someone. But when you are doing it to get praise from another person, you're doing it for all of the wrong reasons. Whether we know that or not, we're doing it for all of the wrong reasons. We're doing it to say, look how better I am. Look how much better I'm doing. Look how much I can give. And I know that they might not look at it that way. Listen, I'm not saying that their intentions are not for the good. That's not what I mean. There might be someone watching this that you do this. You might film a video of you giving something to someone. All I'm saying is, okay, do half and half. Do some of the videos you're doing so that some people can see that and others can be kind and give and caring. But half of the videos, at least sacrifice something for behind the scenes, something that is in the secrets of the mysterious imagination of what somebody might not ever know. And that will be your badge of honor, because you never know. What if you see that person 10 years from now and something happened to where you're dead broke and now they have something? You see what I'm saying? We don't ever think like that, though. And I'm not saying there's people that don't or do think like that. I'm just saying the reasons behind why we do a lot of what we do is because we want the praise of men. I do not want any praise from man or woman at all. I do not want praise. There's something that U.G. Krishnamurti said. He said, "Don't follow me. I'm lost. Don't follow me. I'm lost." And what I would have said is, I would have said, "Don't follow me. I'm lost, but I understand." But see, he didn't say that. That's my words. But there's always a but there too. But because see, when I'm saying something like somebody, but nobody, it can't just be I'm somebody. I'm somebody. No, it has to also be, but I'm nobody. I am nothing to be praised. I have blood pumping just like you. I have to eat just like you. I have to drink water just like you. I am no different at all. I am no better or worse. There is no getting ahead or getting behind. There is no such thing. It does not exist. It is a construct. It's a fabric of our imagination that we think that we have to live up to, that we have to live by those standards. And getting back to the giving thing with people in the streets and stuff, I'm not saying that that isn't something good. It's just, how can I explain this? When you give in secret, when you give because in that moment, it was on your metaphorical soul or heart, or it was in your mind to say, you know what? There is a need that needs to get a need, so I'm going to provide that thing right now. I don't want anything for it. I don't want praised for it. I don't want to be looked at like I'm better than. I do not want that recognition, because that recognition is going to bring bad shit with it. Eventually, that recognition will bring the 7 deadly sins along with it, if that makes sense. It will bring things to you that are not necessary. And if I would have just given like I have before, I'm just saying this, putting it out. Yes, I have given before in secret. many times. I'm not boasting or giving myself praise. I'm just saying I have done that before. But the reason I'm telling that on this video is because it's I have had things happen where when I gave in secret, I seen the person the next time and they were a different person. They came up and talked with me and they were open. They were like it changed their whole perception on what they might have been thinking or going through. See, I don't know if I should say or give an example of what happened. I'm not going to get into details, but I gave someone something, and yet again, this is not to give myself recognition. That's not why I'm saying. I'm just giving an example of this. I gave somebody something one time, and I knew what they were doing with the money. I knew what they were doing with the money. I knew what they were going to get with it, but I still gave it to them, and I did not ask, what are you doing with it? Why do you need it? I didn't ask anything. I just gave it to them because I wanted to give it to them. And the next time I seen that person came to me and told me what they did with it. And we had like an hour and a half conversation with each other. And it turned into this thing where that person left my presence grateful, left my presence being honest, left my presence thinking absolutely different for themselves. No credit to me, though. No credit to me. It was just the act of giving. It was the act of providing, even if it wasn't a need. Saying, here, take it. This is for you. It was just the simple act of doing that. Not asking all kinds of questions. Now, sometimes we got to be very careful who we are enabling and what we are doing, because sometimes people can kill themselves, or they can go get dope and overdose, or I don't know, do whatever, do something crazy. You never know what people are doing, but we have got to let it be what it's going to be. We've got to let it be the act of the act itself, and then say, okay, if I can do it, I can't do it without not holding the camera, but you do it, and then it's, okay, it's gone from me now. I don't want praise. I don't want recognition. I don't want a pat on the back or to say, oh, you're such a good person. You're such a good person. See, I do not like that recognition at all. Now, if somebody likes something and they go, wow, I like this. Okay, that's cool. If somebody says thank you, okay, that's cool. But I am a person, I never want recognition. I never want praise. I never want to be glorified or put on a pedestal, ever. Never. You see, that's what I mean by I don't have that pride and ego thing anymore. I don't need to be stroked. I don't need to be validated by anybody. I am the validation itself. I am the pen that strokes itself. I am the one that does what I do. I am the one that creates my reality. I am the one that speaks openly because I made the choice to do that. I'm powerless in some ways. And I don't even like using the word power. I think the word power is a sickening word. I think it's a word that should be canceled out of words. I don't even think we should use the word power. What do we need power for? Why does any man or woman need power on this planet? Like even people that watch like superhero movies. Why do you need the ability to create fire? To burn something down? To burn someone alive? To melt a bridge in half? What would you need fire for? Why would I? Okay, if I was Iceman and I needed to get across the water, okay, I'll build me an ice bridge. That's cool. If I'm the flame guy and I need to start a campfire, awesome. Awesome. That if we're using it for that. But and like I said, look, if people watch that kind of stuff, that's what they watch. I don't watch superhero stuff no more. I'm not into the whole fantasy realm of having superpowers and having power, because all that it leads to is corruption. All that it leads to is a sense of I'm better than and playing God. And when you play God, you are going to suffer God consequences when you play God. When any of us play God, you are going to fall from a very high altitude down. Like the metaphor, Satan fell from heaven because of his pride. But see, most people, they look at that and they don't even understand that parable. They don't even understand the metaphorical significance of why Lucifer, Satan, fell from heaven, because of pride. See, we look at pride like it's not a bad thing. Oh, I have pride. Now, if you have pride in your work and you're doing something for the well-being of yourself and it's helping you with your health or you're helping someone, that is not the pride I'm talking about. That is work pride. That is taking pride in something that you are doing for the benefit or the health of your life or good intentions. I'm talking about a pride of like, look at me, I'm better than all these people. Look at what I got on. I'm dressed the best today. You see, this kind of pride, it's so toxic, but a lot of the world is blinded by this kind of pride. We don't even see the 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 insidiousness behind it. We don't even see the side of it that is nasty and ugly and vicious and gets people hurt. And I'm telling you, pride is one of the worst things that a human being can have, unless it is in your work or it is in a craft that you do to help yourself or to provide a need or to help someone else. Then those intentions are for the right things. Those intentions are for something that is worth having pride for. But we still have to watch, because we can take pride in something that is good, something that may help, and then we can use that for bad intentions. We can use that for motives. You see, I have that thought that's always ahead, that's 10 steps ahead, because I know how I have used these things before. I know how I have used my pride and my sense of importance and other things for myself. It might seem like I am a narcissistic guy. It might seem like I'm selfish. It might seem like it's about me and I don't care. And when I say that I'm not interested in what anybody else is doing because I'm not them, I'm only me. I can only do what I do. I can only sing what I sing. I can only make what I make. I can only plant what I plant. I can only drink what I drink, eat what I eat, wear what I wear. I can only do that. It has nothing to do with being selfish or any of those things. Nothing at all. That is completely separate from what I'm actually talking about. So anyway, I'm going to end this because the video is way too long and it's going to cut off here in a second anyway. So yeah, this is Now, I won't lie. When I get in my brain fogs and I get into these ruts that I get in and I get into these places where I kind of give up and say, "Ah, man, this doesn't feel too good. This isn't going right now. This doesn't feel right. Why is this happening?" Now, don't get me wrong. That throws me off course from this. Yes, it does. It really does. But it's still on my mind. It's still something that I know 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 that I know. It's something that can never leave me because it's so a part of me. It's so ingrained in the fabric of this vessel, in this thing. It's so ingrained that the only way that something could happen is if I had a brain injury and some part of my brain got messed up, or something happened in my life to cause me to think differently about something, but I really don't see anything that could do that for myself because I've already been there and done it. I've already forced myself to be in the shoes of others. I've already forced myself to listen to things I didn't want to listen to hear the side that I didn't really want to hear, to put myself in the shoes of people that call themselves Satanists or Christians, put myself in the shoes of those with mental issues and mental problems and depression and anxiety and all these other things. And then I put myself in the shoes of people that don't have depression and are people that live successful lives and go to work every day at a job where they're in an office. I've looked into everything. I've studied it. I've took an honest look and I listened and I was open and I didn't judge. I didn't judge. I let it be what it was. You see? And if every one of us could do this for a period of time in our life, our lives will be so different. When I look back at when I was a kid to how I think now and the things that I know, is it a burden? Yes, it's a burden. But the burden can be helped or dwindled down if these things come into action or they come into fruition for me. Right now, they're a burden because it's on my mind. And I feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders sometimes. But I don't know. I'm losing train of thought here. But yeah, I'm doing my best to be as honest as I can and explain this thing in a way where I'm not thinking too much about what I'm saying, but I have to think a little bit, but I don't want it to be where I am thinking of how to say it, or it has to be this way, or it has to pertain to this group of person, or it's for this crowd, or this niche, or this cliche, or this group of people. See, I don't think of anything like that. I don't get on here and speak for that reason. I don't have a YouTube channel for those reasons. All that I'm doing is I am venting. I am telling it how it is for myself. And I am spreading the awareness that I know, that I know. Things that I know for myself and things that I see in the world. And that's it. All the other stuff is just a conception or misinterpretation or judgment or perceiving something wrong or whatever. All the other stuff is extra baggage. It is nonsensical. It's irrelevant to me. It means nothing. If that's what people are doing, that's what they're doing. I know that I can't make any of the world do what I want. I can't think that what I think is something is that way. I have to be willing to say I don't know. I got to let my pride down. Even if I have any pride left, I don't have too much pride left. There's very little. I still have a little tad bit of pride because I need to remember what pride did to me as a person. I need to have that little bit in my brain. And my pride is in my work. My pride is in the ability to be honest, to be open. My pride is in being tried and true, you see? If I can even say that. I don't think that's pride, though. That's just my agape. That's my own agape. And if if you want to know what agape is, look up the definition of AGAPE, agape. And I'm not even necessarily talking about agape love, even though, yes, I do have agape love. But I'm talking about agape, just plain agape. The definition is somewhere in there on Google. It is being open and honest. Either open or honest is in the definition, and it doesn't hold back anything. I don't know the exact definition, but it is transparent. It is willing to put it out how it is. It doesn't stand for bullshit. It doesn't just agree to agree. It doesn't want to fit in somewhere where it doesn't belong. It doesn't want to be something that it's not. That's what agape is. And if we could have 10,000 people, 100 people, 50 people, 20 people, 10 people in this world with tried and true agape, I can only wonder. And that's what I'm going to end this on. Always leave room for mystery and wonder. Always leave room for some mystery and wonder. Don't ever give all of yourself away. Don't ever tell everyone everything about you. I said a lot about myself. I mean, damn near a lot. I mean, I'm going to just give a rough estimate. I have literally talked probably about 95% of, things that I do, things I think. Not everything, though. That 5% is something huge. Huge. It's a world in and of itself, that 5%. And I'm just giving a rough estimate. I'm not saying that that's the right number. I'm just using it as an estimation here. But I'm just going to end it on this. Agape. Great calamity. Remember the great calamity. Understand great calamity. And through it all, through the thick and the thin of it, agape to all. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching if you got this far. The best to everybody. But see, when I say the best, I know that there's going to come turmoil and other things if we're still going by all the stuff that I just talked about in this video. Right now, we are free. If you have your health and you have the ability to get food and water, you are free. You are not in bondage. You are not a slave. Okay, if we're going somewhere where we don't want to go, well then what is the next step from not going there if we don't want to go there, if that's not where we belong? You see, there's really, if I'm being absolutely honest, there's really nothing even more for me to talk about, because I know right now I am a free individual. I am absolutely free. It is simply the bondage of what I've been taught to think that I have to be, the lies, the programming, the conditioning, the TV, the entertainment, the movies, the all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, a lot of us, we still watch that and we still enjoy that, and we still, even I go back and watch some of this stuff. I'm not a hypocrite here. I still watch, short flicks of mob movies and hits taking place and stuff. That's the animal side of me. That is my prideful, animal, primordial side. But it's so little, and I have it under control. I know not to bring that into reality. You see, that is the fantasy realm. The entertainment and movies are fantasy. They're not real. They're movies, even though we may perceive that they come over into real life somehow, unless it's based on a true story, but that's not even reality. And our thoughts are not reality. See, this is a whole other topic that I could get into. Every single thought that we have in our head is not even real. It's not even real. We think that they're real. I have my own thoughts, but see, the thoughts that I have and the things that I have in my brain, those are the things that I want to bring into my reality. And the fantasy things leave fantasy, and the delusions be delusions, and the grandeur brings some of that into existence. You see what I'm saying? It's through discipline, accountability, responsibility, welfare, goodness, well-being, things like this. If we would start focusing on things like this, if we would start thinking of things like this, just imagine, just imagine if we had 10, 100, 10,000 agapes and people that been through great calamity and understand great calamity, yet through it all still have agape and still live by agape. Just imagine if we would leave a little bit of wonder, but yet serve with wonder and let out some of that wonder, but yet keep some of it to ourselves so that it can build up again for the next time. Just imagine if we would stop telling ourselves we can't and telling ourselves we can. And I'm not saying it in a way where I'm going, we can do whatever. Like, it kind of is, but it's not cliche. It's me simply saying, what if we stop telling ourselves that, we're losers? That's not cool. That's not cool to live like that, y'all. I'm telling you, it's not cool. It's not cool. And I don't want to see any brother or sister down in the dumps for too long. Now, maybe we need to go through something to understand and learn something. Steel has to go through the fire many times before it's tempered or tampered. I think it's tempered. See, sometimes I even don't know. I know the word, but I don't know if it's tempered or tampered. See, I don't know everything. You see, there's still some things that I don't know sometimes, but I'm always willing to say, okay, I don't know, so if I have to know it, let me know it. It's like we would be so surprised where being open, being honest, and listening to someone can do, and asking them, how are you today? What are you thinking about? What is there something you want to tell me? Like, if we would just do these simple little things to one another, when you go out in public and you see a guy stocking the shelf, if you would just say, thank you for stocking the shelves for me. Say that to a brother or sister, and I guarantee you their whole day will be completely different. Their whole day will be different. If you say, thank you for stocking this shelf so that I can have something I need today. And like I said, I'm guilty. I don't always do this myself. There's a lot of times where I just walk past someone and I act like they're not even there. I ignore them and I walk by them and I feel bad. Every time I do that, I feel bad. It's on my consciousness because I say, if I was that person and someone would just say, hey man, what's your name? Thank you for stocking this shelf today for me. Thank you. It's nothing to do with praising me or anything. It's just saying, you know what? Even though you are on the other end somewhere and we don't personally know each other and I don't know you, we don't have to know each other. It's just the act of kindness and giving and compassion, man. It's so simple. It's so simple, but yet we make it hard. We make it so hard. We make it so hard on ourselves. And even I do this. I make it hard on myself. Something so simple. My mind makes so hard because I'm thinking of what another person will say or think. I'm not sure how they'll react. Most people, they want you to say something to them. They want you to be open with them. They want you to say, talk with me. They want you to maybe, I don't know. It's a lot of people are open. We just think that they're closed-minded, or this woman, oh, she's stuck up, or this guy, he's a tough guy, or I can't talk to him because he's a brother. See, we look at each other like enemies. We look at each other like that guy is someone that I'm me versus him. You know, that's another brother there, and we're gonna fight over the woman and all this stuff. It's like I said, that mentality to me is lunacy. I have no room for it in my mental kingdom. I have no room for it. The universe knows this. If there's a God, God knows this. If there isn't a God, then nothing knows this, but I know it. I know it, and I'm left to know it. And today, I am proclaiming right now, I am free. The only thing that is holding me back is the conception, is the construct of my own thoughts, is me thinking I'm a slave, or me thinking that other people are thinking something of me. And I have this myself. Everything that I'm saying, I am saying because I'm explaining myself. See, I'm not even talking for other people, even though I am talking for the world. I got to speak for myself first. No person can ever speak for another person. No, nobody. Nobody is going to look into something but me. No one is going to, if I did something very wrong in my life, nobody is going to repent from it but me. If I have done someone wrong, no one is going to go and ask for forgiveness or say, look, I did you wrong. Can you please forgive me? But me. You see, no one is ever going to change their diet and eat healthy but me. No one is going to have an act of kindness or compassion or be open but me. Nobody's going to be honest but me. Nobody's going to really know what they want and get real with this thing but me. See, it's a me thing, but it's not that we're narcissists or selfish, but it's a me thing. It is a me thing. And when we start looking at ourselves like that, that is what we're going to project onto the world and into the world. We're going to be projecting our own reflections. We're not going to be projecting anymore of what people think of us. We're going to think of what we think of us, and then that's what we're going to project and give out. That's what's going to be our aura. That is what will speak volumes. That is what will speak volumes in this world. And that's my vision. That is some of my vision. That's not all my vision, because like I said, there's got to be some mystique and mystery, and there's got to be some thing there that you can't just throw the whole portion out. You know, it's like a parable of you can't put all of your eggs in one basket, kind of. Because what if all of them get smashed at the same time? Then you ain't got no eggs. You see what I'm saying? If you get 9 of them crushed and you have 2 left and you had 11 eggs, then you won because you ate 2 eggs and there's something in your stomach. So yeah, this is what I am projecting, my own reflection. I'm projecting my reflection. I'm projecting what I know of myself, and that's what I'm giving out if I'm giving out anything. You know, I'm not saying I can save anyone. I'm not saying I can help anyone. I'm not saying I have any answers. I'm not saying I have solutions for anyone. I'm not saying anything like that. I am simply giving it raw, real, tried and true, and I am putting that out. I am expelling it from my presence so that it can go out there and it can resonate with something else, if it does that. But IDK, I don't know if it's going to do that. That's not my place to judge. I can't call it. I can't call it. I can't call it. So I'm ending it on that note. 2 hours in. I didn't think I was going to be talking this long, but you know what? This is great therapy. Tried and true. Don't try to be anything, and don't ever be something that you're not, for anybody, for nobody. Not a woman, a man, the world, your family, someone you might call friends, co-workers, people you live by. Never be anything that you're not. Never try to be something that you're not, because if we're doing that, then we know that it's fake. We know that it's plasticky. We know that it's not real. It's something not unique. It's not genuine. It's something that doesn't mean anything to that person. You know, if we're gonna create meaning, let's make the meaning what we make it right now. You know, the only meaning is what we're making it right now. That's it. That's the only meaning is what we're making it. And that's not even meaning. It's just we're creating our own realities right now. Right now, I'm literally creating my own reality as I speak. What I'm thinking, some of that will spew over into my own reality and some of it won't, you see? But if we don't think like that, if we don't think that some things will come into reality, then they're never going to come in reality because we're not thinking like that. Right when we say, I can't, then we never will. Right when I say, I never will, then I never will because I've already told myself. I've already catastrophized and already told myself, I already made an affirmation in my own mind that I can't do something or I'm not ever going to do it. If I talk like that, my brain tries to tell me things like that, yes. But I know that is something trying to trick me. That is my own thought of something from before that is trying to make me that way again because it's in my mind and it's coming up on the projection of my own thoughts on my own projector. And I know that it's bullcrap. I know it's a lie. I know that it's my mind tricking me into believing that. And see, that's my own demon. That's my own shadow projecting. That's my own fear. That's my own everything that if I don't call out, then it's going to stick with me. And then I'm going to start blaming other people. I'm going to start projecting that onto other people because I'm not dealing with it. And I usually don't use the word hope, but I really do hope that some people are getting this. I really, really do hope some people are getting this, but like I said, I can't call it. But even if one person gets this for themselves, then it did what it was supposed to do. You know, if one person gets this through and through, then I have served what needed to be served, you know? So I'm ending it with that. I keep saying I'm going to end it. You know, sometimes I won't lie. I want to talk. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do like hearing myself. I won't lie. I do like talking and just venting and whatever thought comes to my mind, just saying sometimes. Is it much? It might be a little much, but it's not a bad much. If it was a bad much, then I wouldn't do it. But now, see, now I know I'm doing too much. So now I'm going to end the video because I know better. All right, y'all, take care. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and think of compassion. Think of agape. Think of the great calamity. Think of, you know, don't be scared to stand out or to stand up. Don't ever be scared to stand out or stand up. All right, later, y'all.